Hi, today we're going to be reviewing the Blackmagic Flipper Jig. Flipper jigs are a form of slow pitch jig. Blackmagic have 8 colours and have released several new colours for this season. The Flipper jigs, they have a very durable finish, very strong assist cord and good quality hooks. They're a good quality, well-made jig. They also have a fairly large eye and have a very strong UV paint finish on them as well. Slow pitch jigging is a relatively new form of lure fishing, but is effective and can take the same species as other forms of lure fishing. In fact, larger species like kingfish and harphooker may be even more susceptible to a well-pitched, slow-pitched jig. God's own editor Matthew Hewitson and I have been using Blackmagic Flipper jigs on a series of recent trips to test their fish catching ability. They range in weights from 60 to 200 grams. The concave spoon construction give these lures their distinctive movement in the water. As they drop, they slide to the side and flip, drawing strikes on their way to the bottom. The large eye and neuron veins in the paintwork stand out and certainly get attention from the fish. There is a very strong UV content which no doubt helps add to the attraction of the lure. We've caught snapper, kingfish and even a curious poray in about 80 metres so far. Slow pitch jigging relies on a rod with slightly stiffer characteristics where the taper is not a fast taper and the whole blank bends slightly more from the midsection instead of the tip folding away. In this video, the rod we're using is a Sinnet pitch black slow pitch jig rod.
This rod is no longer in production, unfortunately. However, we would recommend the Temple Reef Elevate jig rod for this style of fishing.
Slow pitch jig rods help the jig bounce up and down, and as it rises and falls in the water column, the jig pitches and moves in enticing ways. Jigging with the flipper jigs is easy enough, and the lure has strong sideways movement as it falls.
The basic idea of slow pitch jigging is to raise the rod and drop it so the lure has vertical space to free fall. This makes the lure pitch and flutter as it falls. Watch the line sink as it may stop before it can tighten off the rod tip, meaning a fish has probably grabbed the lure. You can also use the reel handle in conjunction with the rod movement to pitch the jig in smaller increments. This is one of my favourite techniques, especially when it is hanging just above the seafloor. Slow pitch jigs, like flipper jigs, can be used on normal lure rods to catch fish as well as dedicated slow pitch jig rods. The best places to use these jigs are around workups, but also low-lying reef systems and drop-offs in places like channel edges and holes in deeper water.
Overall, we'd recommend the Blackmagic Flipper jigs. Definitely great to have a few in your bag because they're a non-traditional form of slow pitch jig, and definitely good for days when the fish are particularly fussy.